Metformin is a widely used drug to manage type 2 diabetes for millions of people worldwide by controlling the amount of glucose in the bloodstream. However, new research is displaying that it might have the ability to slow aging and promote what many are calling longevity genes. For the medication's ubiquity and low cost, might this be the so-called wonder drug that cracks the secret to anti-aging? We interviewed Tufts students to highlight the truths and the myths of this promising anti-aging intervention. Okay, let's go. Hi, excuse me, have you ever heard of Metformin?
Yeah, I'm actually knee-deep in a Metformin research study right now.
Hi, excuse me, have you ever heard of Metformin?
Yeah, I actually have. I'm actually a student in Professor McVeigh's Biology of Aging class.
Hi, excuse me, have you ever heard of Metformin?
Yeah, my grandma's taking metformin.
Has research shown any beneficial effects of Metformin thus far?
According to a study published in the Nature Communications journal, 2 species of mice fed a standard diet supplemented with low-dose metformin had an increased mean lifespan by 5.83% and 4.15%, represented by the solid lines. The metformin caused greater use of fat stores for energy, improved physical fitness, lowered hemoglobin A1C levels, decreased oxidative stress damage in the liver, and reduced inflammation.
Yeah, in a study published in Cell Press Journal, researchers set out to answer whether metformin mitigates age-associated deterioration in adult male monkeys. The authors found that metformin diminished multiple hallmarks of aging across diverse tissues, including reduced aggregation of senescent cells and decreased spreading of scarred and thickened regions in the lung, kidney, and heart. Senescent cells are cells that are not growing and dividing and instead can aggregate as a form of cellular junk. Metformin was also found to curb chronic inflammation. The results indicate that metformin administration significantly slows the pace of aging across multiple tissues in male primates because it resets the estimated protein age by 6.41 years. In the older group. The green bar below the horizontal axis represents the 6.41 protein age year reduction. Notably, metformin decelerated liver and brain aging, offering protective effects including prevention of brain atrophy and enhancement of cognitive function.
How would these results translate to humans? Are there any caveats?
One caveat that should be highlighted is that this experiment was only performed on male mice. It would be interesting to see if similar data were collected for female mice. Another important caveat is that not all of the molecular processes involved in healthspan and lifespan extension as a result of metformin are understood. Thus, it's more difficult to determine how chronic exposure to the drug impacts health.
Yeah, so the study is rich in findings, but it must be remembered that the study was done on male monkeys only. So these results may indicate sex-specific results that do not apply to females. While the study was done in monkeys, it is thought that the pathway involved in conferring these benefits to monkeys is highly conserved across species. So if the pathway does indeed work the same in humans, metformin may induce similar longevity.
Rumor has it metformin is currently being tested on humans. Do you have any insight on this?
Yeah, it's an exciting time to be a metformin enthusiast. According to a meta-analysis published in the Aging Research Reviews journal, metformin has been shown to be really beneficial in humans. Diabetics on metformin have been shown to have lower mortality rates, fewer instances of cancer, and fewer instances of cardiovascular disease compared to other diabetics and non-diabetics. Regardless of diabetes status, metformin seems to extend health and mean lifespan. The current ongoing 6-year trial, Targeting Aging with Metformin, TAME for short, is exploring metformin's effect on longevity in a broader demographic of people between ages 65 through 79, and with a larger sample size of 3,000 people.
So what does this mean for people looking into taking metformin as an anti-aging remedy?
Since metformin is already used as an anti-diabetic medication, it has been proven to be safe for humans. However, it's still being determined if metformin can have long-term anti-aging benefits. Additionally, based on the aforementioned mouse study, which displayed that a higher concentration of metformin was lethal in mice, while a lower concentration was beneficial, future research needs to be done to see if increasing metformin doses beyond what is typically prescribed in humans would confer any further benefits.
Yeah, so based on metformin slowing the aging clock by 6.41 years in male monkeys and showing hepatoprotective and neuroprotective effects, I would say metformin as an anti-aging intervention is definitely headed in the right direction for future years. I'm hopeful that with more studies, specifically the final results of the ongoing TAME studies in humans, the pot of evidence supporting metformin will be of a substantial enough amount for me to confidently recommend metformin to the general public. In this moment, I would like to see more studies done on a diverse group of people before I make the recommendation that people should take metformin as an anti-aging remedy.
So how does metformin relate to the larger context of aging?
In both diabetic and non-diabetic humans and model organisms, metformin promotes healthspan and mean lifespan. Metformin acts through both AMPK-dependent and independent pathways. AMPK is an enzyme involved in the metabolism of glucose and fats. This AMPK-independent pathway is how metformin reduces reactive oxygen species. This relates to the oxidative theory of aging, where reactive oxygen species can harm our cells and can contribute to aging. When reducing these reactive oxygen species through metformin, there's less cellular damage. Also, as healthy people age, inflammation increases in the body through multiple pathways, which could contribute to different aging-related diseases. For example, senescent cells leak inflammatory factors. Fortunately, though, metformin has been shown to help protect certain tissues and organs from this inflammation. However, metformin's effects on longevity in humans are still being investigated, so individual studies where metformin has been found to reduce mortality have controversial results.
Great. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. Thank you so much for taking the time to give us your insight today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your time.
Of course, anytime.
From what we've heard today, it seems that while metformin has improved healthspan in mice, monkeys, and humans, much is still unknown about whether the drug would extend longevity in people. As the research progresses, hopefully we may get some more conclusive answers. But for now, I hope you enjoyed learning about metformin as much as I did. Thanks for following along.